Objective?
Objective is I'm going to guide you through how to do drag makeup. And yeah, it's just a conversation about like why we're doing this and what it means, and just for you to try something new.
Okay.
There you go. It's kind of just like the hairnet at work. Hello everyone, Corey and Patrick here. We are going on a drag journey together. I'm going to teach Patrick how to do a drag face, and we're just gonna do this together, and I'm really excited about it. How do you feel about it?
I'm excited. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Have you ever worn makeup of any kind before?
Yeah, but it's when my daughters do it for me. And
oh yeah.
So that's why I said earlier that I wasn't worried about messing up, because I've had messed up makeup.
But yeah, I'm excited that you're willing to do this. You know, as a married straight man, like it's really cool that you were willing to step into my world and just try something different. So thank you for being brave.
You're welcome. And that's what life's about, I think.
The first thing that we're going to want to start with is a face primer. What this is going to do is it's going to help our delicate, beautiful faces and all of the things that we're about to do to them. You're just going to like dab it kind of like you're putting on sunscreen, and it should make your face really soft. Any questions that you have along the way, just ask away.
So, first question.
Yes.
How long do you usually plan to spend doing yourself up before performing?
I would probably say the safest amount of time is 3 hours. And I don't even really do as much as a lot of other queens do. Like a lot of queens you'll see have glue sticks because they glue their eyebrows down so that they can eliminate them and redraw them. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Don't panic.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
But that's makeup, and then getting into the costume like I showed you. The pads. I have chest plate. Which I didn't put out because it is anatomically correct, like fiercely anatomically correct, so I was like, let's just not.
Is it the same every time, or you?
So a lot of queens have like a look.
Yeah.
They do, and they may change colors or whatever. I just started getting like a really good feel for what I want my look to be. Let's move on to the next thing, which will be foundation.
So the idea of foundation is to cover blemishes, or what?
It's basically you are creating your canvas so that you can build from there. It is literally like the foundation of a home. It's the foundation of everything you're building from here.
Okay.
You're gonna want to smack it like you're packing cigarettes. I don't smoke, but this is what I see them do. So.
Yeah, I do. That was another question I had. So you made a distinction between cross-dressing and drag.
Yes.
Where is the boundary between the two? What is the difference?
Ultimately, that difference just comes down to how a person describes themselves.
Yeah, because like if you do it every day, does that mean you're a cross-dresser instead of
right?
Drag? But you wear drag every day, right?
Yeah. Drag is more performative. Like you're generally performing as an alter ego rather than as yourself.
Oh, that makes sense. A cross-dresser may not say that they are a different person.
Right. They would be like, I am this, I am, etc. Versus a drag queen would be like, I'm performing as this character. One of the most iconic things in the drag community right now is RuPaul's Drag Race, which has been going on for a long time. Some of the queens, that have been on the show have performed in drag and then come out as trans. Like they realize through that journey that, like, this is actually me. Athena Veil to me is someone who is representing women's rights or drawing attention to like self-acceptance and self-love. Those are always the kind of themes of songs that I perform. I try to never perform anything that I wouldn't be comfortable with my like young family members seeing, because I want them to be able to look at Uncle Corey and still see a role model even if I'm in a dress, Have you ever been to a drag show before?
I have not.
Oh man, I feel like you would love it. They're super fun, tons of fun energy. And there's all different kinds. They have all ages ones at CSI for National Coming Out Day. And then there's the ones that we do at the bar that are obviously like not all ages.
That's another aspect I hadn't thought of, like what features of the face distinguish it between male and female, what things you need to transform.
You actually have like a lot of like really awesome facial features because your face is kind of like long, like you've got like high cheekbones and stuff. Like you have a lot going for you. My face is round, so I have to use makeup to sculpt my face into something other than just like meatball head. Let me see. When you're using your sponge, you want to like blot like this.
I'm painting.
When Clifbar did National Coming Out Day and we painted the rainbow door thing that we made, I was trying to teach Nicole and Patrick Chavez how to blend the colors like we do with these. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is called contouring, like we do this. And they were like, yeah, this is so fun. And I'm like over there like blending colors, and then I look at what they're doing and I was like, nope. I lied. And they thought that was really funny. All right, let's take a look. Wow, that looks so much better. You did really good. Okay, have you read Harry Potter?
The last 3 books. I was getting tired of waiting for movies.
I got Patrick Harry Potter themed makeup brushes because I felt like that would make it a little less intimidating. Have you ever figured out what house you are?
I've taken a quiz or 2, yeah.
What are you?
What was it? It wasn't the Slytherin or
Gryffindor?
No, yeah.
Are you a Hufflepuff or a Ravenclaw then?
Ravenclaw.
Yeah, you seem like a Ravenclaw. I'm a Hufflepuff, like through and through. I have big Hufflepuff energy. A lot of learning to do drag has been learning how to use the tools. And the first set that I got was cool because it told me on the brush like what you're supposed to use it for. That was really helpful. And these are also made of bamboo, so they're like eco-friendly. This was like the best first set I could have ever asked for. There's no rules in drag. You can do whatever you want. What you can do if you're not sure what you're getting into, this is what you do like at the makeup store and stuff like that when you're testing something. You can take a little bit of it and just put it on your arm, and that'll give you kind of an idea of what it's going to look like when you apply it.
Now, you're trying to make your eyebrow have a better shape, right? So
yeah,
you just follow the shape you want it to be.
You can basically shape your mood. You remember Chelsea?
Yeah,
exactly.
I've been thinking about her this whole time.
Yep, it's just like Chelsea, how she wakes up in the morning and chooses what mood she's gonna do that day. That's what we're doing.
What are happy eyebrows?
Have you ever seen Penny's eyebrows? How they're kind of just like, whoop. They're like almost like perfect like circle, like half circles.
Okay.
Those are happy eyebrows. One time that I drew on my eyebrows, I modeled them after hers, and they were the cutest eyebrows because Penny is the cutest thing in the world. Your eyebrows look solid, like awesome job. Have you ever heard what's the theory that like matter in the universe performs a certain way until it's viewed?
Oh yeah, Schrodinger's cat.
Yes. And
state is unknown unless it's observed.
Yeah. And I had a friend tell me that that's like why like you can know how to do something until someone goes to watch you do it.
I trust you.
It's a dangerous game.
So first off, it's a community. Is there sort of a collective history you all identify with?
Yeah, it's honestly a really cool history, and it's interesting to see how it's different now from when it started. What I've learned so far, I keep learning more, which is really cool. Drag has been around literally as long as performing arts has been. Well, in the early 60s, anyone who was queer, anyone, whether you were gay, lesbian, trans, whatever, you were just gay. They didn't have all these words.
Yeah.
Where that line was between trans, cross-dressing, drag, like it was all very lumped together. But now we have better boxes for everything, so it makes a little bit more sense. And the drag queens were people who were really pushing the boundary of gender, which was especially important, after World War II, where compliance with very strict and actual written in law gender norms. Like you had to, if you were a man, you had to wear male clothing. It was illegal to cross-dress.
Oh.
And so gay spaces, queer spaces were constantly raided by the police because they knew they could get them, and they were always defying these norms because they were already outcast by society because being gay was also illegal. So just by being them, they could get arrested, they could get beat up by the police legally and incarcerated, which is how the Stonewall riots began on June 28th, 1969. They fought back against the police and basically told them no, like we're not doing this anymore, we're not complying anymore. And then a year later was the first Pride March on the anniversary where they were like, we are going to be gay and we're going to be proud and we are going to fight for our rights.
Is that true now as well? It's on the anniversary of Stonewall?
Yes.
A gay club in New York?
So yeah, it was a bar, and it wasn't really a gay bar, but it was a bar that was one of the few only safe bars.
Yeah.
The bar would pay the police to stay away, most of the time. Or when they would come raid, they would pay them and they would only arrest some of the people or whatever. So it was a safer place for the community to meet and spaces for people to actually dance together and I think that's why dancing and music and just performing arts and things like that are so deeply rooted in the LGBT community, because they've been at our core since the beginning. I think it's a lot to do with the fact that we had to perform a certain way to fit into society, and so we perform like this as kind of like a pushback, almost like an ironic commentary on like the ridiculousness of that requirement. So that's why a lot of drag is very campy, you know, it's very ironic, because that's what it is. It's saying like these rules, these things, like why can't a man wear eyeshadow? Why can't a woman have a beard? Like why? Why are any of these things here? They don't make sense. They're not real.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make them as big and ridiculous as I feel like they are, so that maybe you'll see it too.
Oh.
So that's kind of what drag is. Like, what led you to, do you think, like what makes you different about being able to be comfortable doing this when there are like so many people, so many men especially, that would be like absolutely no?
I have a hard time understanding that mentality, because it's always been easy to recognize things that are important and things that aren't for me. What you put on your face is not significant, like to the point where you should have a visceral reaction to it. It's just something you can do. You should just experience life.
And I think it's so funny, like you said, where that line is for people seems so arbitrary.
Yeah.
Because the same type of people who would never do this and would have such a negative reaction to even the concept of doing it are the same ones that would have no problem like covering their face with paint or whatever, you know, with their team colors
team. Yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking.
stuff like that. And like they get all dressed up and they, you know, put all this work into whatever they're doing. It's like, it's the same thing. Whatever, you're identifying with this whole team that isn't even you. Like your participation in it does nothing.
I mean, even people that put on makeup for utility, they wear camo for hunting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, so now you're wearing a brighter color, but it's still the same. And you're learning to be a better painter while you're doing it.
When I was forming my drag persona, I was trying to think of, you know, what kind of women inspire me. Do you have like any women, whether they're actors, actresses, musicians, that you see as just very powerful or very feminine, like just very like iconic?
The only one that comes to mind on the spot is Anne Hathaway.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah, I remember hearing an interview or talking about homosexuality as well. In her family, it was like a non-issue.
Yeah.
It's not something you even really are concerned about.
Right, it's
So
just
one
a
where-
thing.
Yeah.
It's just there.
And that kind of acceptance is, not necessarily acceptance, but like making that the norm is
That's the goal.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how it should be.
Just like any other fight for equality in history has been, the point where it's won is when you stop seeing the distinctions. Even though you may use them to feel included in a community, it's not something that is ever held against you.
Exactly. Like
That's
the
kinda how-
differences are no longer used to oppress you.
Yeah.
That's when the fight is won. I was talking to someone and I told them that I was from Idaho, and that just came loaded with a bunch of assumptions about who I was, because they didn't even know that I was gay or anything, and that obviously comes with its whole own assumption. People here, if you say I'm from Idaho, they're gonna assume you're a white redneck racist. Like that's just kind of what comes with the package.
Yeah.
You lead with I'm gay, they're gonna assume you're liberal. You're anti-gun. Like there's all these like boxes that just instantly get checked regardless of where you actually are on any of that. And so it's kind of fun to like mess with people and be like, no, actually, like I'm from Idaho, but I'm also gay. And
Oh, what box to put him in?
yeah, like what did I do? And be like, oh, okay, like so yeah, I'm not racist, but also like I don't think guns are the worst thing in the world. Like they just need to be managed better. People are like, I don't know. There's no box for this. Like, I don't know. Get better boxes? I don't know what to tell you.
I think it's, I've thought about that a lot. It's probably a holdover from our evolutionary past, because if you were living in a small tribe, anything that was different, a different person, a different color of person, would be seen as an outsider and therefore dangerous. They're going to be working for the same resources that you're working for.
The others.
Yeah, exactly. So then it makes social interactions much easier for humans when they can just quickly assume something about you, and then they know how to treat you, they know what to defend, what not to defend.
Do you want to hear something really interesting? It's a total just like headcanon. It's not proven by any stretch of the imagination. But they were talking about how humans have this neural reaction to things that look human but aren't. You know, things like Bigfoot or aliens. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because they use that in horror movies a lot.
Yeah.
The monster, whatever it is going to be humanoid.
Right.
Like an amorphous blob is not scary to us.
Yeah, but something that looks like us but isn't is like horrifying, right? Well, they were talking about how that fear doesn't really exist in other species. Like, dogs don't look at others like breeds of dogs or something that looks like a dog and they're not like scared of it. They're just like, okay, this is a dog. You know, they respond to it the same way they would any other dog. So the question that raises is, what happened in our evolutionary past that there were things that looked like us but weren't and were dangerous? Dun dun dun! I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
It is, but it's compelling too.
It is interesting.
Why do we have this fear?
Aliens. Okay, so now we have our War on Gender Norms war paint on, and we are on the home stretch finally because it has been like 2 hours since we've been sitting here, and we are going to start blending. We actually call doing makeup beating our faces, and this is a big part why, because right now you're just like beating your face into the shape you want it to be. When we're doing makeup like this, the rule is you're doing makeup for the back row. You're trying to do all of your looks for the people all the way in the back. Those are people that are really there for you. Here we are. I am officially Athena Vale. And this here, do you have a name that you like, or?
I'm interested to see what you came up with.
So, my name that I wanted to give to this glorious vision of femininity is Miss Patty Cakes.
I've been called that before.
Have you?
That works.
Patty Cakes.
Patty cakes.
How do you feel?
Like a whole different person. I mean, it's startling how a little bit of makeup and a wig can make you feel different. I can see how this could be something that gives you the power to be who you want to be, or be someone different. Try something out. Love it.
That's awesome. I am so glad that you had a positive experience with this. It was really fun getting to go through it with you. You're a really good learner. And yeah, you're beautiful. So thank you so much, Miss Patty Cakes. We appreciate you guys going on this journey with us. This was super fun, and I hope that you learned something as well. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, now we can take this stuff off.